Like we're live. Well, we're here.
Oh,
For
man.
those of you in the dance group looking at this video, we are live. If you're watching live, type the word live. We do this every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern. Hit the like button. Say something to us in the chat. Let us know you're watching live with us. It's John and Travis. We're the Get More Dance students, guys. If you're watching the replay, go ahead and type the word replay in the comments right now, too. And that way we can see your names pop up. We like to see who's on with us live. It lets us know that you're here. And that way, if any questions pop up during it, we can be ready to answer those questions. I'm excited for today. We're going to be talking about a few cool things for dance studios for sure. But, if you've ever tried to run ads and failed at that, it's definitely not your fault. Or maybe if you've been concerned in the past that it's hard to get students in the door, we're going to just put those fears to rest today. And I know there's a lot of people out there and a lot of gurus and so-called experts and marketing agencies, and they want you to think that you can't grow your studio without them. But that is 100% not true. And what those gurus and experts, so-called experts, want you to think is that you need them, and you don't. And we're here to prove that to you today. So we'll tell you all about that, and we're going to get into all that stuff really quick. And it's just a couple easy steps. It doesn't take that much, and we're going to share that with you right here on this live stream. It's going to be a super valuable live stream. We're just pumping out valuable stuff in this free group just because we want to help. There's an expression that one of my mentors, Frank, says: "We want to show you we can help you by actually helping you." Wow, that's such a groundbreaking thing, right? So today we're going to be talking all about how to make money by giving away a free week of dance classes. And I know it sounds like a conundrum, but stick with us and we'll explain how all that stuff works. How we doing, Travis? We got some people on, it looks like, huh?
Yeah, we got some people jumping on, which I'm excited. So if you're on and you're ready to find out whether you're on live or you're on the replay, if you're ready to find out what it takes to grow your studio, just go ahead and hit the like button, drop a comment in here. If you have questions during this process, feel free to share them. We love, like John said, helping out. And the best way we can help out is to understand where you're at. So let us know you're excited to be here. You may not know us, or if you do know us, this is your first live stream, or you've been through a few, you hopefully realize we've helped a lot of studio owners, over 410 schools enroll, 28,000 more than that, but we like nice round numbers. They're easy to understand. 28,000 or more paying students collectively. And really what we're trying to do is really break all the rules of everything that's out there and really just do the opposite of what everybody else is teaching. Because unfortunately, everything else that's kind of been out there has really led you down the wrong path. And today I want to give you some clarity to help you get on the right path, which the nice thing is the right path is not that far away, just a couple steps away, about getting things going in the right direction for your dance studio. We've watched a ton of dance studio owners really just banging their heads against the wall. And maybe you're doing the same thing. I actually just talked to someone last week, dance studio owner. She owns 2 studios, 500 plus students at each studio. So on the surface, you say success, right? Right there, she's doing good things. But she is banging her head against the wall with all the things she has to do to maintain that success. And unfortunately, she's been led down the wrong path, that everything that she does has to take more time. And what she's been trying to do is figure out, how can I have something consistent where I can run my studio, which is why I opened it in the first place. So she's just trying to figure out the best way. And we went over really how to make money by giving away a free week of dance classes. And when her and I had that conversation, it's like I could hear in her voice, a light bulb just went off, like, oh my gosh, this is the ticket. So, our vision is really to build a community of high quality dance studio owners who are great at what they do, known in the community, making that impact, but just want to reach more people to make that impact. So we want to help you get off that hamster wheel of random boosted posts and all kinds of events and birthday parties. And, summer camp is the only way I get new people into the school, or hiring an agency that knows nothing about the dance industry to hopefully grow your studio for you. Or maybe you've done print ads or flyers or spent money on things that just didn't get a return. We want to get you off of that hamster wheel and onto the path of something that works consistently.
Yeah. And, some of that stuff works, some of it doesn't, but most of the time it's just a big waste of time and money. And we figured out such a simple way. It's like so dead simple. We call it the student magnet. And, we've already shown hundreds of school owners how to do this, how to work through the process. And we're going to give you some of that right now on this live stream. And what's super cool is that when we show a studio owner how to do this, within a couple of months, they're getting people in the door, they're growing the studio, they're experiencing more freedom. I mean, a lot of the times, just on our members only Q&A call a couple hours ago, and one guy got into the program. He spent like, a couple of days just setting everything up. He's been in the program for like a week. He flipped his ads on Saturday at like 2 a.m. and had somebody opt in, book their appointment, and he saw them at 1 p.m. that day. Like, that's how fast stuff can happen. So, I mean, if you're ready to see what this takes, it's really not that hard. Let us know. Let us know in the comments that you're ready. It's awesome to watch. I love getting on those calls when people are like, hey, I just burned through all the training. I did it all and I set it all up and I set my ad up, and right away I got an ad. I got a lead. I got an appointment. They booked an appointment. They came in and they paid me money on the first day they were here. So that's a pretty awesome thing. So hopefully you guys are ready for that. Looks like we're getting some action in the comments here. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Are we ready?
Who's ready? Go ahead and type ready if you're ready to hear what we do. Expand your mind into what's possible for your studio. So go ahead and comment ready again, even if you're on the replay, because we get notified, we jump in and we make sure that we get engaged with you if you're on the replay. So we're going to dive in, and really what we want to talk about is running an ad for a free week of dance. And in that, we want to elaborate on using Meta Ads Manager, not boosting posts, posting that awesome content you have where it says, hey, click here if you want to reach more people and pay us more money. We want to elaborate on what it's like to use Meta Ads Manager, and then really dig into what it's like to target moms, what you can do to target moms, and then really just keep it simple so it doesn't need to be this complicated thing that you constantly need to be changing and adjusting and coming up with new ideas.
Yeah, totally. And, I think most of the dance studio owners that we've talked to are still trying to do things the old fashioned way. It's really just not the world we live in. Like you mentioned, boosting posts, and you might think, wow, that's kind of a new thing for me, but boosting posts is like way old. It's not, in my experience, it's never really worked. Maybe when it first came out before the power editor came out on Facebook, but we're talking like early 2000s. And so everybody's trying to do it the old way, or posting all the time on social media and thinking that just people are going to miraculously see your post somehow, or trying to get people to share it, or buddy weeks, or bring a friend, all that stuff. I mean, we've seen studio owners try it all, and we just find a much simpler way. We found that, the main thing is having a system in place, and we're going to walk you through what some of that system is. But really the first main point, like you talked about, Travis, is it's just setting up an ad, a super simple ad, and making it to where it's something that can run long-term. Facebook loves it when an ad runs longer. It's an artificial intelligence that has an optimization process. So the longer the ad can run, the better. And so that's part of keeping it simple too, which is the last thing, but kind of in between there is booking those intro classes. So we're going to cover all that. This whole thing, we call it choreographing your marketing, because it's really advertising that just pays for itself.
Right. And this all works together in a system. A lot of dance studio owners have a couple of these things in place, or you have a great process for when people come in the door, or great rapport and all that kind of stuff. But we would just need to tweak, okay, how do we get more people in the door? Or, people that are really warm and excited, we sign them up. But people that aren't really sure about dance, how do I get them converted? And that's something that I talked about with another dance studio owner last week. Their staff was awesome at converting the really warm leads that were coming from other dance studios or had already decided about dance. But when someone never experienced dance before, what we would call like a cold lead, they couldn't really get them converted without giving away a bunch of free stuff. And even then, they didn't know how to transition that. And that was where they were missing. They were doing a great job at getting all the warm leads in their community, people that already decided they want to have dance. But what was stopping their school from growing to where it really could be is reaching the people that were perfect for dance, and dance was perfect for them, but they just didn't know how to get them in the door and how to have a conversation to get them to become a paying student where they saw the value and wanted to be a part of it. So they just needed that one little thing tweaked. And if they could tweak that thing, their school would double in size in the next 6 to 12 months. So as soon as we shine some light on these things, it really takes off, like in that example. So I wanted to dive deeper into this. Feel free to type in your questions. Again, if you're on the replay, type in those questions. We always come back and answer them. We want to get your questions answered and clarity for you specifically. So go ahead and type them in, and we'll go ahead and answer them in the comments or live as we're on the call here today.
Yeah, definitely. So, and another thing you can put in the comments too, as you're watching this live or the replay, is I'm very curious what you're doing right now, and what the biggest struggle is when it comes to getting dancers in the school right now. I know that some people are struggling with like trying to figure out how to run an ad. I'd say for the most part, that's probably the biggest thing, is like an ad that works for dance, right? But some people have ads up and running fine, but they're just having trouble booking intros, or they'll say things like, I tried ads, I got a lot of leads, all the leads were weak, or all the leads didn't, convert into anything. Booking those lessons and actually getting them to become a paying student is part of the process too. And then really choreographing your marketing so that it's paying for itself. Those are kind of the three main categories we usually see weaknesses in the system of studios, but maybe it's something else. Maybe you're struggling with something else. I'd love to hear what that is. I'm very curious to know what it is. So if you're live with us, go ahead and type it in the comments right now. We're on multiple platforms. If you're watching the replay, type that in. We're trying to consolidate all the comments from everywhere and put them into one place. So if you're doing that, just go ahead and let us know where you're at, what you've tried, what the struggle is, and what you're doing right now to grow your school. And maybe you have some other strategy that you're using that's working really well. We would love to be students of that as well. So we are looking for those comments. I love those comments. And while you're doing that, while you're typing those things in, I want to walk you through kind of some maybe false beliefs that some studio owners have expressed to us. And some people have said, well, I've tried boosting a post on Facebook, or maybe gotten into Facebook ads, and it just didn't work. And what we found is that boosting a post is really just a complete waste of money. You should never, never, ever, ever, never. How many times, Travis? Never boost a post
Ever.
on Facebook. There's just a better way, right? And the right way is to get inside of what they call Meta Business Manager, and it used to be called the Power Editor, but it's Meta is the company that owns Facebook. Basically, we're getting in there and we're just creating more targeted ads that are specifically set up for this industry. You're able to target just moms. You're able to get a picture. You're able to get an action and a button and all this stuff that you can do inside of Meta Business Manager that you can't do inside of a boosted post. And I've even had some dance studio owners that have told us that they've hired somebody to do it, maybe like an agency or a parent or a friend of a friend of a friend who knows how to do computer stuff, or marketing, and still got no results. And really what that boils down to is that there's just a lot to it, right? There's a lot to creating that successful ad. It's pretty rare that any kind of like novice or even some experts will get it right the first time. And it took us forever. Like it took us so long to figure out what was going to work and what would be consistent and what would duplicate across different locations and different studios. And so at this point, we've tested a ton of stuff. We've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of success stories. We've helped 400 some odd schools enroll 28,000 paying students collectively. I mean, we figured this out. We've proven it. It's so clear to us what works. And I'm trying to watch the comments here as we're going, Travis, and I'm seeing stuff coming in from different places. But if you guys would love to know like exactly how we do this, just type the word yes in the comments right now, and we'll share that with you. So I'd love to see the word yes in the comments as we're moving through this. Any feedback from you, Travis? What do you think? Where are we at?
Yeah, I mean, so one thing that I talk to a lot of studio owners about, and another kind of false belief, but also applies to the strategy that we found works, is that okay? Well, we need to have seasonal ads, or we constantly need to be changing things up, or our offer needs to change, or we need to have some type of special that we change. Because honestly, in a lot of it, and it's not your fault, you've been through that, because a lot of times agencies will run an offer that's just not built to be year round, and it probably takes off really quickly, and then it just falls off a cliff, and it brought you some students, but it just wasn't realistic to keep doing long term. The truth of the matter is, if you have the right call to action and the right messaging to your audience, you really only need one ad that you can run 365 days a year. And when it comes to seasonality of summer and different recitals and different holidays and things like that, you can actually shift your conversation with people when you see them in person that matches those types of things. But your ad could just be running one way year round, and then you're just having different conversations with people when they come in the door. Same structure, but just kind of peppering in the seasonality of things. So, we've tried pretty much every offer you can imagine. Free week, 2 weeks for $29, 5 weeks for $55, free month, half price, free giveaway leotard, buy one, get one free. I mean, anything you can think of as some type of promotion. We've tried it because we're always searching for, hey, is there something better or what's best? What's going to get the most juice out of the orange most consistently without as much work? So what we want to do is really get away the worry of this idea that free weeks attract a bunch of Marley jumpers who only want something for free. They just want to try it out. Mom's busy that week, so she's going to sign her up for dance for a week and then never come back. That's not true. Now, again, that would be true if you just had a free offer and no plan to convert that person into a paying student and member of your studio. Because really, honestly, it's a myth. Look at all the major billion-dollar companies in our world. In fact, most things that you use, you probably started with some type of free trial. Disney Plus, Hulu, Uber. Uber gives you $20 on your first ride, no matter how much you spend. They don't care. That's essentially, they're paying you to use their service. That's beyond free, right? Because they know once people get hooked on something, they experience the value they have to offer, then they want more. I mean, I would challenge anybody that's in this group. If you had someone in your studio for 2 weeks, all of them are probably going to want more, right? If not, that's a different conversation. So the way I see it is the free week actually removes risk, and it makes it easy for people that want to try it out, that aren't a warm lead or aren't experienced dancers, that want to be new to something. And that's important too. A lot of studio owners, I think, would agree that we need an influx of new people coming in, because that's going to be your long-term student. Students that have been in other studios and things like that happen to move more often than others. We want students that, hey, we're all they know. This is all they know about dance. You can mold them better than bad habits that other teachers and instructors have given them. We want new students in the door. Nothing against those students, but we want an influx of new ones. And this removes the risk for people that are interested in dance, but don't necessarily know what it entails, don't know what value it provides, don't know your personality, the culture of your school. So we've taught this to every member of our student magnet, and it's so simple. It's a no-brainer. Now, some dance studio owners say, well, I tried something like that on Groupon. It was a free trial offer. And the truth is, things like Groupons, they attract one-time purchases. Every time I use Groupon, it's with the mindset, I'm doing this one time and I'm never doing it again. So that's going to naturally attract Marley jumpers and freebie seekers. That's really what that platform is built for. So it makes sense that that would be your experience. But there's actually a better way to do this so we can get consistently new students in the door consistently.
Yeah, for sure. And really, I mean, just we've had not only the highest implementation percentage in the world for our program, but even more insane success rate. And the reason is simple. And I know that a lot of people that hear, well, you got to give away this free week, the first thing they say is, well, how can I afford to give away a free week to everybody who walks in the door? I'll go broke, especially if I have to pay for ads on top of it, right? And it's actually a great question. We're actually going to cover some of that in the end here when we talk about the choreographing your marketing and how to actually really switch that around. So we'll show you that you can actually let people who come in for that free week upgrade into a better paid trial. And I say let because you just offer it and they'll do it. And so, but first, before we get into that, I'd love to know, like, how many of you are getting value out of this right now? If you're getting value, just type the word value in the comments and let us know that you're getting value out of this training right here. Hopefully there's some mental shifts happening. I know when we're on the phone, like one-on-one with dance studio owners, and we give that kind of insight into how the free week works, there's usually some light bulbs going off. There's usually like, oh, I never really thought about it that way. So if that's you, just type the word value in the comments right now. Show us some love there. It's hard for us to know if you're getting value out of it unless you leave us a comment here. And I know we're broadcasting to multiple platforms. So it's, we're trying to compile all those comments for ourselves to know. But no matter where you are, if you're on our live stream page, if you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, if you're on Instagram, wherever you're watching right now, just let us know, show us some love in the comments, and we appreciate that. It looks like we're getting some feedback already, so that's good. So
yeah, definitely. And
how about
so far,
how about a recap?
You want to recap? Go ahead, John. Yeah.
Can you recap it? Why don't you recap it for us, Travis?
Sure, yeah. So, I mean, so far we've talked about how we can run ads for a free week of dance using Meta Ads Manager, not boosting posts, how we can target moms and really just keep it simple. This doesn't need to be complicated. And all of this works because there's an entire system built around it. A lot of people have tried something similar and really failed because there's no process around it. Again, some studios I've talked to, I've offered a free thing, and it just attract. What was the system around it? And when I go over the system around it, it's like, oh my gosh, I want to go back in time and do that because it's
Yeah.
very dialed in. And if you're getting value, and hopefully some light bulbs are going off, go ahead and type value in the comments if it's clicking. I hope you realize that this is something you can do too, to just really consistently grow your studio without having to try a bunch of different shiny objects.
Definitely, definitely. And so let's get into part number 2. Let's talk about booking intro lessons. So I know there's a lot of people, especially people that are like marketing guys or marketing gals that are like running ads, and they'll say stuff like, listen, I can run ads, but you've got to be like this relentless maniac and just like call them every day, call them once a day, keep calling them until they either answer and book an intro or just totally cuss you out and tell you to, stop calling me. Right. And the truth is that people do not respond to that kind of pestering anymore. That might have worked. And it actually did work probably maybe even 5 to 10 years ago. But people are maturing, like especially moms, who is pretty much who we're going to be advertising to. They're just fed up with salespeople bombarding them with phone calls. And really what we found is that we never call our leads. Like we don't ever do that. And we actually have a proven method that is the fastest and easiest way to get results. And, you can try a bunch of things out there, but go through a bunch of trial and error to figure it out, spend a fortune doing that. But we've actually done all that for you. And really what we figured out is that rather than sending them, or calling them 10 million times and trying to figure all that stuff out, we don't call them at all. What we do is we actually end up booking half of them for an appointment to come in on an intro lesson. And maybe you're like, wait a second, let me get this straight. You never call them, but half of them book an appointment. How is that possible? Well, there's this new technology out there called text messaging, where we just send them a text message about 5 times in the first 7 days. So it's not even every day. It's not pestering, and it's really targeted. And I'm going to give you one secret that we probably weren't even planning on sharing, but I'm going to share it with you anyway. The urgency that a lot of marketers talk about, you've got to make the deal end. We build it right into the offer, right? So the thing that we're giving away on the ad is a free week, right? Free week of karate, or free week of dance. I get my brain wires crossed over sometimes, Travis. We're giving away a free week of dance, right? In that free week, when they say, I'd like that free week, and they opt into your ad, the first message we send them is, hey, your free week starts today or tomorrow. When do you want to come in? Tomorrow, the next day. And that automatically starts a countdown of 7 days. And so as we're messaging them throughout that week, it's a few times in that first 7 days. It makes perfect sense for us to build urgency in that, because their pass starts, right? So if you if you claim your pass today, tomorrow, the pass starts. Well, if this is you, you're like, I want to get the most out of this. I don't want to go on the last day of the pass. I want to make sure I get my full week, right? So they're like, oh, I didn't know it started tomorrow. You usually get a message back like that, like, oh, I didn't know it started tomorrow. And then you have started a conversation with someone is interested, and you can say, oh, no problem, I can reset the start date. When do you want to come in? How's Wednesday or Thursday? And you can just start setting it up like that. And then you've got a conversation started. And that's the beauty of having the free week as the pass on your ad. It automatically starts that process of follow-up right away. And then that 7-day period is not you just pestering them about how great dance is and all the benefits of dance. All you're doing is just going, hey, I just want to make sure you get the most out of your pass. When do you want to come in for that first lesson? I mean, it just makes it so natural for you to be following up with them in that first 7-day period. And what happens is, when we do it that way, they either will just book themselves because we send them a link to book it, or they'll just reply back and then we just book it over the text message. So, I mean, it's so simple, but sometimes the hardest stuff is simplifying a complicated process, right? We were talking about this earlier before the call. Like, sometimes the hardest thing about anything is to simplify it. And that's really what we've tried to do here, is just make it so easy.
Right. And I love the natural conversationality of that type of message, that it starts a conversation of, when can you come in? It's a natural response of when I can come in. It makes so much sense. I love it. And so that's really part two. So type value in the comments if you're catching this, if you can kind of see, or, some, veils have been lifted and how we can take someone that comes in from an ad. That was part one, running ads for a free week of dance class. And then part two, getting that person to book an appointment to come in. That's the important thing, right? A list of leads with names and phone numbers is great, but until they come in the door, so we just need to have that natural conversation and get them in the door and automate a lot of that process. So that way you can focus on just the people coming in. Let us know in the chat. Let's go a little bit deeper, because now that we have them in, how do we get them to become paying students? So, you're telling me free week, but how does that transition into revenue for the school? And this is really what we call choreographing your marketing so that your advertising pays for itself. And I love this because I know a lot of studio owners, your budgets are so maxed out with, rehearsal attire and recital attire, all these costumes and staff and all these costs. It's like, well, the drawer for marketing isn't flush with cash, right? So we wanted to develop a way with this process where your marketing is paying for itself. And we call it choreographing your marketing. So a lot of dance studio owners, when they look at a free week and they say, all right, well, how does that become a paying student? You must have to, kind of a false belief is you must be some type of slimy salesperson. And I can't tell you, no one wants to be a slimy salesperson. No one wakes up in the morning, can't wait to deceive and lie and trick. And on top of that, I don't want to deal with the moms if they feel like they've been tricked or sold something that they didn't like. That's the last thing that I want to deal with, especially if a couple moms get together and start, chatting about. That's a total nightmare. So we want to make sure that we're handling this with integrity, and we want to honor a free week. So if they come in for the free week, we're going to honor that free week. But we can also give them another offer that we know is better for them. So all we need to do is have a simple conversation. And we have this whole process laid out for our Student Magnet members. But basically, Mrs. Johnson comes in. She's there for the free week. You do your intro just like you normally do, your intro class, your introductory meeting. And then you just have a simple conversation. Hey, Mrs. Johnson, I see that Susie's here on the free week. That's great. She can keep coming in her street clothes. We do have another offer today. I personally think it's a better offer, but I'll let you decide. She can actually come for a full month for just $87. And then we have some type of giveaway, like a free leotard or tutu, or maybe, they're going to need shoes or something that they may need that they don't have. We'll actually give that for free as a part of the paid trial. I think it's a better offer, but I'll let you decide. Essentially, that's all we're saying. There's a little bit of nuance to it, but that's pretty much the conversation we're having. It's 99%. We say 90, but it's a high number. 9 out of 10 people that come in on the free week are going to say, oh, well, I want to do that instead. I don't want the free week. I want to, here's my credit card. And maybe you're worried people have a bunch of objections because they came in for the free week and now you're asking them to pay for something. You're not asking them to pay for anything. You're telling them about something else you have available to them that you think would be better, but you're letting them decide. So when you do this the right way, as I just laid out, you'll get honestly 0 objections. The most common objection of we need to check our schedule, or we need to look at our finances, or we have to check, this other stuff. No talk over with the spouse, no look at the budget, no check the calendar, because it's just a month. It's just $87. Nowadays, a family of 4 can't go to McDonald's for $87. So we're talking about less than, they don't have to call their spouse and say, hey, Susie wants a Happy Meal, right? So this is the same mindset for them. Yes, we want to do it. 9 out of 10 people will pay you right there. That gets them financially committed to the program. That gets the school some revenue that you can now just roll that $87 into your marketing. And then there's a process to get them fully enrolled a couple weeks later. So that's it. It's a simple conversation.
Yeah, it's too easy. It's too easy. People that go through the training and they do it, they're like, I can't believe this works so good. It's just too easy, right? So hopefully you guys are getting some value out of this. If you are, just type the word yes in the comments. If you're enjoying the live stream so far today, give us some feedback on that. Let us know you're enjoying things. If you're watching the replay, you can type the word yes and let us know that you're enjoying things. We've covered 3 main things: running ads for a free week of dance, booking intro lessons, and choreographing your marketing so that advertising pays for itself. And really, like we keep saying over and over again, is that this is a complete system and each part serves the other. So running the ad serves the system to booking the intro classes. Obviously, that serves the system to bringing people in and choreographing that marketing so that they're paying for the paid trial. on day one, which then goes back to serve the ads for the free week. And then it just keeps going in this cycle. And it's just this, we call it a flywheel sometimes. It just keeps going. You put a little in and it just continues to run. And we've really designed this and tested it. We've looked at this and observed it over the past few years. And we just have it so dialed in at this point. And so I see people are saying yes, and that's great. So what we've talked about really quick, just the running the free week dance, the ads, right? Running a free week, booking intro lessons, choreographing your marketing so the advertising pays for itself. Maybe you're wondering, like, you know what, this is amazing, guys, but how do you actually like specifically do this? Can you like show me on the screen how to get into Facebook Ads Manager and actually set up the ad? Well, the answer to that is actually yes, we can. In fact, we have an entire program that shows you everything on how to fill your classes, everything we just talked about, setting up the ads, doing the follow-up, automating all the process, choreographing your marketing. It pays for itself. All that is built into what we call our Student Magnet program. If you're interested to find out about that, just type the word game in the comments right now. And what will happen is we'll reach out and we'll actually do a quick game plan call and show you maybe where the process fits into your studio. And if it doesn't, we can point you in another direction. This is not a sales call. You're not allowed to buy anything on this call. Like, it's absolutely unavailable to you. You'll probably talk with our program director, Ignacio, or Travis, or myself, but no matter what, there's no way you can buy anything. This is a game plan call. It's really just a matter of us getting together, learning about each other, seeing if it would be a good fit to work together, maybe finding out like, where's the hole in the system? Can we shine some light on some of the weaker points? Is it help with ads? Is it help with booking appointments? Is it help with maybe you've run some ads, but you're like, I don't know how to do the targeting right. I don't know how to, set the pictures up. I don't know how to do this stuff. I'm not sure. Should I do? There's so many options inside of Facebook. If you've been in there's like traffic and leads and engagement and website visit. Like, there's so many ways you can go about it. And we've just figured out there's just one way that is the best and easiest way that we've discovered. And we're always looking for new ways, but we just have not been able to beat this control in 5 years. It's been the best, easiest, consistent process. And so whatever it is, if you're interested to learn what that is and just cut the learning curve, just type the word game in the comments right now and let us know if you would like to get on that call. Anything you want to say about the game plan call, Travis?
Yeah, again, the whole idea behind the game plan, just like I mentioned a couple of those calls, where it's just, hey, what's going on at the school and the studio? What's happening with the growth? Just trying to shine some specific light onto the holes that we talked about, how you can just have some holes missing. That's all that call is designed to do. And if it's something that we can help fill, then great. Let's continue to talk. If it's something else that would help fill it, then let's get you in that direction.
Yeah, totally. So if you're interested in that, just go into the comments right now, type the word game, GAME. We will reach out to see if it's a good fit. I know that, for the most part, when we talk to members that have joined our program, they say this is the most profitable and the best decision they've ever made for their dance studio. And for me personally, it's way more rewarding to see a school owner growing their studio, experiencing more freedom. And, that's the payoff for us. But this is where it starts. It starts when you type the word game in the comments right now. And when you do that, one of us will reach out. We set aside some time on the calendars for today and tomorrow and to see if we can help you. So, and just so you know, just to kind of give you an even deeper kind of dive into the call, this is like a 5 to 15 minute call at the most. And we're really just interested in finding out what's going on in your studio, what part of the process you're missing, what are the challenges you're facing. And that's really it. And really, so you can understand where our hearts are at in this whole thing. We're not looking for just anybody who can afford the program. In fact, there's plenty of times that we've been on a call with somebody we know for sure can afford the program, and we don't even offer it to them. Travis and I have conversations about it all the time because we're only looking for success stories. If we know it's not going to be a good fit, even if you can afford it, we're not going to offer it to you. If we just come to the decision that together, we work on this together. It's not just like us putting up a gate and saying, you can't get into this, right? But typically on a call, we can come to an agreement and understanding like, yeah, this is probably not the right way. We can usually refer you over to some other resources that are usually free, or someone else in the industry that might be able to help you better too. We've made some friends in the community as well. So no matter what, we want to help you. That's the bottom line. Is we're not looking for like the Dolly Dinkle minded, get rich quick, do nothing, get paid type studio owners, right? We just want to work with studio owners who are truly interested in helping their students and fill their classes the right way. So if you are a studio owner and you're passionate about serving your community and you have a great curriculum and you just need more people on the floor and in the school, just type the word game in the comments right now. I think we're about to wrap up here. We're at about 35 minutes. That's a good run. So one more invitation. If you need students in the floor or in the school, in the studio, on the floors, you need more dancers and you're trying to fill the classes up and maybe you've struggled with it or you're just looking to shortcut the learning curve, just type the word game in the comments right now. We will reach out no matter what. Whether you join or not, you're going to get a ton of insight. You're going to get a ton of value. You're going to see if you're a good fit for the program. We'll see if you're a good fit for one of our programs. And so the final time I'll say it, just type the word game in the comments right now, and we will go ahead and reach out. So that's all we got. Thank you for joining us today. It's been a great time as usual. I just love these live stream calls and love being with you guys here. So I hope you got some value out of this. And for those of you watching the replay, you can also type the word game in the comments as well. And that's all we've got. So we'll see you here next Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern right here in the group. Have a great